School and Campus TQ, with TQ standing for Threat Quotient. Hi, I am John Hnatio from the Institute for Complexity Management, or ICM for short. At ICM, we're a nonprofit charitable organization that conducts research and undertakes projects of concern to communities across the country. We wanted to take a few minutes to talk with you today about a new idea we have to protect our children at school. As a former student, a father, a grandfather, and a former teacher, I know that school is supposed to be a fun place for our kids, an environment where you shouldn't have to worry about anything but having fun and learning. Also, it goes without saying that our kids are our national treasure. They represent the future of America, and there can be no higher priority than our children's happiness, safety, and the quality of their education. Without them, America has no legacy, and neither do we. Several years ago, I became really concerned about school safety as more and more shootings and acts of mass violence began to plague our educational system at schools and universities across America. At that time, ICM applied for and received a small grant from the Maryland Technology Entrepreneur and Development Company, or TEDCO for short. Our plan was to build a new type of software tool that could warn us about possible safety concerns at schools in advance and in time to intervene and stop them before they happen. We called the new software tool School and Campus TQ, with TQ standing for Threat Quotient. We began by researching the issue of school safety, only to find that no one had developed a comprehensive set of school safety standards to deter, detect, prevent, and when necessary, most effectively respond to safety incidents. What we wanted was a system that had been scientifically analyzed and tested to prove that it actually worked, but we couldn't find one. We also found that millions and millions of dollars have been spent on school safety by three principal government agencies: the Department of Education, the Department of Justice, and the Department of Homeland Security. And yet the results are at best a mixed bag. In many cases, we found no guidance for the type of safety incidents we found that were actually taking place at schools. And even worse, we found conflicting guidance on the best ways to respond. We also found that there was no easy way to test emergency response plans with first responders. So, we decided to develop, and we have tested, a complete set of easy to understand standards that could be easily implemented for little to no money by schools. We also came up with the idea of building a new, easy-to-use software platform that could be used by schools at little to no cost. The new software used ideas that came out of my own inventions and patents that are all based on the very simple idea that prevention should always be the top priority, but that if you cannot prevent a safety incident, your responses should reflect the most effective actions that have been proven by our responses to past incidents in order to mitigate the consequences. We kicked things off by doing some very intensive research. We developed a database that included every instance of school violence we could find. We reverse engineered every incident step by step by combing through newspapers, government reports, and the internet, and anything else we could find. We then broadened our view as our research found that school shootings and violence were certainly not the only safety incidents occurring at schools. We expanded our view and identified 10 areas of safety concern, including things like contagious diseases, food safety, and other safety incidents that were actually occurring at schools. When we looked at food safety, for example, we ended up building our poison database to give us an idea of the types of poisons out there and their taste, smell, symptomology, and the best prophylaxis to use in the event of a poisoning at our schools. With prevention and improved responses to safety incidents as our focus, we brought together some heavy hitters. We leveraged our own law enforcement backgrounds in preventing and responding to emergencies to bring together a panel of experts to help us look across the range of school safety challenges and to help us write and test a comprehensive set of safety standards that addressed each of the 10 categories of incidents that we found were actually occurring at schools. We brought together first responders like firemen, police officers, retired FBI and Secret Service agents, nurses, psychologists, other medical professionals, teachers, and many others who had real-world experience to help us develop a comprehensive set of school safety standards. Argonne National Laboratory and the Army National Guard were also members of the team to develop and help us test standards. We tested the standards at the Muscatatuck Urban Training Center near Camp Atterbury, Indiana. After completing this work, we ended up with a prototype of our software package that consisted of a simple-to-use questionnaire asking the various people responsible for different aspects of school safety a simple set of yes or no questions across all 10 categories of school safety concern. Our thinking was to spread the work of answering questions across several people to lessen the load on just a few teachers or administrators. We included information based on our research of past incidents and about how to detect and prevent incidents before they happen, and when necessary, how to best respond and mitigate the consequences. Today, thanks to the efforts of our experts, Argonne National Laboratory, and the Army National Guard, and many other people out there who helped us, we have developed and tested a comprehensive set of school safety standards and a prototype delivery system. But this is where your help comes into play. We want to take our prototype system and finalize it in a way that we can install it in every school across the country that wants to comprehensively address the challenge of school safety at little to no cost to the schools themselves. That's why we've planned with a major IT firm to finalize the software and help us get a standardized software platform that leverages the internet out to schools across the country. We estimate that the job will require an initial $250,000 to finalize our prototype to include incident response modules that will tie individual schools together directly with their local responders. Our plans include working with 5 schools across the country to install and use the software as a seedbed to engage other schools and other school districts to enhance the safety of our kids at schools, colleges, and universities. This is why we are asking members of the Giving Pledge and anyone else who can contribute to visit our ICM website and contribute all that you can to prevent and better respond to safety incidents at schools. One thing I can assure you is that our approach is different. It is based on science and the power of computing to help make our children safer and happier at school. If you are looking for a detailed technical briefing or additional information detailing our plans and the technology we are going to use, please call us directly at ICM. At ICM, we are deeply committed to this project and we need your help. Thank you in advance for any help that you can give us. It's very much appreciated. This is John Hnatio for ICM.